Okay. See, what we are going to do is we are going to discuss about a couple of use cases from today onwards. Side by side, whatever query I'm getting, I will just explain that. Okay. See, this is one of the recent days. Most of the companies started asking, don't worry, you are just starting career. This is going to be architect. But it's worth to understand because whenever you focus architect, you will cover more services, how it works. That will really help even for you to clear your SME round or your cloud interviews. Okay, so as per this, they asked a couple of scenarios. They given some environment. So they are saying 10,000 servers migrated to cloud and plan to migrate another 12,000. So this is their expectation as part of this transformation project. 70% of the cloud print. So they mentioned majority of the environment is going to be Azure, and rest of them are in AWS and very minimal on the Google Cloud. And both back office and customer facing apps they have. And also they want to consolidate all their data centers. So currently they have 125 data centers, from which in that 125 data center only they have 10,000 servers plus 12,000 servers. So totally 22,000 servers they have, where in 125 data centers. That also they want to reduce it to 50. That means they want to get rid of all servers. Only they want to keep some of the servers. Rest of the 75 data centers want to move it to here. And transition operation from DC to another. Even they want to modernize the existing legacy data centers. So now we will take one notepad. And can you tell me what all you will do as part of this? Can you just give your idea? So they given a scenario, okay, and also they want you to prepare like this. They want to hear as part of this what are all the optimization you can propose, what are all assessment you can propose, what are all target architecture, how you need to be very high level. They are not asking you to be a super duper. They want to see how you are reacting from your learned knowledge. Most of the time now companies are started doing like this. So, and also when we say servers, then definitely data also will be there. How you are going to manage the data as part of this migration. Remember, we are talking about the on-prem. So that means definitely there will be a VM or physical server. From there, how you will move the data, I mean the database to cloud, which is the public PaaS or SaaS, and storage migration. Even there is a domain migration. Okay, and also how you can concentrate or plan for application, because they have mentioned there will be a back office and customer facing application also come down, and we are moving everything. What if anything goes down? So we need to also plan for disaster recovery. And post migration, we need to have, okay, we need to slowly convert into DevOps model. How you do that? What you need to do? So this is what they are asking. And even finally, they are asking, when you say you want to introduce to DevOps, then what are all tools you will plan? Can anyone start list down from your understanding? so that we can slowly discuss. So this is the use case they given. So if you are in that situation, what exactly you will respond?
Hi, Vijay.
Yeah.
So first, so
We
we
will
will
just open an
get
Excel
the
sheet.
requirements.
Yeah, we will list it down,
Okay.
and then I will help you to remove which are all not needed. Okay, I'm just going here. Okay, so now you tell me one by one. We will enter it. Yeah, tell me what all you will
Yeah.
respond. So probably we can have this in mind. Then we will go for it.
Yeah. First, we will look for the requirements properly based on the inputs what we given, and
Okay, so first we will say look for the requirements, right?
and as the environment is already moved to cloud, so we have to analyze what kind of
No,
servers
no,
are
no, no, no. They are okay. Read again. They are saying continued implementation of cloud transformation strategy. Already they are started, but not fully
okay.
moved. Okay,
Okay.
so they started in the continued implementation. That means it's in progress now. Maybe 5,000 servers they migrated or six. So you assume okay, just now started. That mindset always you need to have, because then only they will focus on you. Okay, he is having a broader picture.
Okay.
Okay, now look for the requirements. In this case, what all requirement you will concentrate on?
Yeah, Vijay, we have to understand what the application is about. Uh,
Exactly. First,
I
this is the major point. People are mostly not concentrating on the day one. Okay, uh, application. Can you repeat?
yeah, application. What I can say is you
Nature
criticality
of
of the
application. Can
application.
I say?
Yeah,
Can I put it in this way? Nature of application.
yeah,
What kind of application? Basically, correct.
yeah,
So when we say nature of application, we need to define or we need to document how the application created, either Java or Python or Node.js. Is that correct? And that application is a 2-tier or 3-tier, correct? If you start with application, then most of the things you will pitch in. So then you will also concentrate on, is there any connectivity required? Is there any third party process is involved? Is there any static components also involved? Means sometimes static images also will be loaded, right? Most of the websites.
yeah.
So these are all you need to first understand nature of application. Then in that application, some of the calling like time sync and process everything, then you need to also think about non-functional requirements and functional requirements. Okay, we will just put down like this. We will just go here. So nature of application. So what are all nature of application you will consider? How the application created. I mean, what stack? Stack means you need to clearly define the development stack and what are all tools involved, what are all calls involved, what are all ports involved. Everything you have to document it. And non-functional requirement. In order to run the application, you need to first go back. We have discussed, right, in the first 1 or 2 weeks about the business continuity value, right? I give an
Yes,
example also. So you need to first define what kind of a criticality of this application. If it is going to be BCV 4, then it's a really critical. Uh, so you need to just say, sorry, BCV 1 means it's a critical. So those are all you need to first document it. Based on that, you need to first define, okay, and also functional requirement. What is mean by functional requirement with respect to application? Can anyone tell me? So functional requirements, what is meant by when we say application, what is mean by functional requirements?
The functional requirements talks about what is required to attain the functionality of that application at least.
Okay. Okay. Is there any other thing? When we say functional requirement for one application, is there any other expectation you will also concentrate on?
Like what are the different functions our software has to do?
Okay, you can search it in Google. At least during this session itself, you spend some time on Google and understand and explain. Okay, what are the functional requirement when we say application perspective?
RTO and RPO.
No, before going to RTO, RPO, because RTO and RPO, remember, it will come part of your NFR. But now I'm asking the functional requirements.
Is it the business
They are
needs
product
what the
features.
client is expecting?
Okay. See, functional requirement, first you need to ask, okay, if I open that application, how fast the application should be loaded? I mean, the response time, how the application behaves. So these are all you have to, because if you list down, then only you can correlate in the NFR. You agree? Because if the functional requirement says whenever you create maybe a banking application, okay, that application, if you start fund transfer, your expectation as part of functional requirement is it is going to be some 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, and go on mute whenever you want to talk, Rupesh. So whenever you want to talk, you have to go for the whenever you want to access the application, the expectation is as part of functional requirements 2 minutes, the complete all transactions. In that case, within 2 minutes, if you want to make that application available, then what kind of infrastructure you need to go for it? That is a non-functional. So until unless you are not clear functional requirements, you cannot derive non-functional requirements. First, you need to understand this. So functional requirement, mostly, I will just show you. Where is this? Let me go to Google, uncle. I always prefer Google rather than anyone. So functional requirements, go for it. I never go everything here. I will always go to images, because that is where I feel it will be more easiest way to learn. So click any one of this. So first we will go with functional. So functional, you look at some functional requirements more. Yeah, see here, if you go what kind of a authentication, what kind of a mostly it's kind of a future and the expectation that meet, you need to have more the environment, you need to make it plan. So this is the first thing you need to understand. So wherever you are going, that application, what is the first expectation? If you say inter-domain support, right, then to meet this, what kind of a backend infrastructure you need to implement? So interfacing and availability, these are all first you need to go for the functional requirements. That functional requirements, you can go and put down yourself on the non-functional requirements. Okay, then we will go further one. You said RTO and RPO. RTO means what? RPO means what?
recovery time objective.
Okay.
Recovery
Recovery
point.
time objective, recovery point objective.
Point objective. Yes.
Okay. So in this case, what kind of a functional requirements you will meet it in? So the RTO and RPO, it's a non-functional requirements. But for what purpose? From functional requirements, you will address non-functional requirements.
For example, if one application is down, and for that, how much time is required in order to up that certain application?
So how you will understand that? So if you go back to the day one, I explained the client will say or some approximate benchmark ballpark data or expectation per hour. Okay, 50,000 people will start access the application. Okay, per hour, I need only 2 or 3 transaction may fail. That is my expectation. So not more than that. In that case, your how do you calculate this uptime
BCB,
days?
we'll
Yes.
calculate.
Using
So
the
if you have the expectation like this, then your RPO and RTO should match this, should satisfy this. So what you will do? You need to carefully align your backup strategy. You need to carefully align your availability strategy within this expectation. So where this expectation will come? From functional requirements only. So this is a major gap whenever we go for interview or exam. Are you clear? We'll go one by one. Are you clear in this?
Yes, Vijay.
yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So now, what is the other one you will ask? As part of, let me just open it. So as part of this, what are all other parameter you will propose it?
If the application is monolithic, probably when we are migrating to AWS, and we can
Yes,
use
exactly.
the AWS features.
So that is why I always said when 𝐶𝐿 started the first word application. So whenever you want to move something or optimize something or migrate something or consolidate something, start from application. So when you start application, you will have everything will fall under in your bucket, because in order to run that application, you need an infrastructure. In order to run that application, you need a security. In order to run that application, you need a storage. In order to run the application, you need a network. In order to run the application, you need a different network. You cannot put web server, app server, and DB server, and even the data in the same subnets, right? You need to segregate, and people who are accessing, you need to define how they need to access. Yeah, you need to define how the backend team will come via based on host, right? So always stick with application. Most of my interview, whenever I ask, this is the expectation I used to expect from the candidate. Because when you say application perspective, then you are having more broader picture rather than small services learning. That itself will show you are how you are a just learning person, or you are a real-time person. Yeah, Srikanth, you just continue. Others also you put. Now I just want to give a clarity. I prepared this solution also. I will walk through it. After this session, I will share it.
Sure, Vijay. So how can we use the features in the AWS? Like if it is a monolithic, what are all the services we can make it as a microservice, and how we can increase the availability of the application? If it is
So
a monolithic, probably we can't guarantee it, right? If one of the component goes down, probably the entire application will go down. If we
So
make it as
based on your application, whether it is a monolithic or cloud native, so then only your most of our your migration efforts going to be correct. Because if it is a monolithic, then simple. First, you need to do a lift and shift, and then you need to take care of all. Or you first convert your application as a cloud native application, then move it. It is completely business call and timelines call. Correct?
yes.
Okay. Now I'm asking, what is mean by monolithic? What is mean by cloud native? These are all we already covered. I'm sure people not listened properly. But now, can anyone tell me monolithic application? What is mean by monolithic application? I need a layman example from your studies, or you can now browse internet also. But I need a simple answer. What is mean by monolithic application? What is mean by cloud native application? Can anyone tell me what is mean by monolithic application? What is mean by cloud native application? Tell me, even if you're wrong, don't worry. I'm there to help you. Yeah, go ahead.
Yep. Monolithic means all application or functionalities we will deploy together. And if one of the functionality went down, probably the complete application will go down.
Yeah.
And cloud native is we are breaking the application into according to the service or a functionality.
Okay.
And
Can you
based
give
on the,
me any example? Because everywhere all the blogs, everything is saying the same terminology.
yep. So if you take the ICICI Bank earlier,
Okay. So
sometime
we will
back,
go with some ICICI Bank. Okay.
yep.
So ICICIbank.com, ICICI.com. Okay. ICICIbank.com. Okay. So this is my current application. I would say legacy application. I would say monolithic application. You can say monolithic application. So now you tell me first in this application, what are all module, what are all functionality? Monolithic.
Okay, we can
Personal
take,
banking.
yep.
Correct. Okay. In the personal banking also there is a several things, but we will go with a high level products perspective. Otherwise, it will be too confused. So
Okay.
personal banking is one of the product. Correct.
Yes.
And
Loans.
credit
Yep.
card is one of the product. Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. And credit card. And there is a Lombard. Insurance is one of the product, correct? Okay. And insurance and loans is one of the product, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Is there any other product we used to mention? Insurance, personal banking. Okay, we will go with corporate banking. Means personal means individual, company banking. So corporate. Okay. So is there any other product which you know?
No, Vijay, that is all.
Any people? No, I'm just asking so that
Yeah.
we can finish this. Okay. So now, if you take this, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there is a 5 product. You know, monolithic. What is the nature of monolithic? So whenever I want to have that. So whenever I want to change something, whenever I want to change something, or whenever I want to change something, whenever I want to change something here, so I have to change because all these 5 products previously will comes one single year file. I'm just giving you a idea. So in this means all the application will be part of bundled in one single application. So whenever you want to change, you need to redeploy this, which will have a single deployment and single downtime, right? So now what we can do is, yeah, Samsul, Siraj. So what you can do is, how do you convert this to cloud native? Can anyone tell me? How do you convert this to cloud native?
So we will
All the
start with features which has less criticality. We'll start with those service or a feature.
No, I'm expecting something. So how do you convert this as a cloud native? First of all, what is the
Break it
advantage?
down. Sorry,
What?
sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Break it down into smaller microservices.
Okay,
or,
we will. Yeah, but I'm hearing everywhere microservices in all the blogs.
Yeah, I mean,
But
I'm
when I
saying
go
instead
and
of,
ask what is mean by breaking down, what is mean by microservices, people are really saying, okay, break it down the small pieces. But what is the small pieces? Can you? Okay, we will
individual
take
ones,
one by one.
Individual services.
like we can break it down into personal loan as one.
Okay, we will
card.
go. Wait, we will take one product first. So we will take personal banking. Okay, so in that personal banking, can we take this personal banking in one single application? Say
No.
no, wait. I'm not talking about the individual part that will go deep. But what I'm saying is, I have a 5 functionality in the legacy application. 5 functionality as one single application, like ICICI.ER file. So this is the one single application. So now, when we talk about cloud native, right, or microservices, so can we break down this 5 functionality as a 5 application? So
Yes.
in that case, personal.ar file. So this is one application. And what is that? Credit card. So credit.er file. And there is a insurance. So insurance, I'm just writing only few letters. You understand. So insurance.er file. And there is a loans. So loans.er file. So corporate.er file. Okay. Now you tell me, is this enough to become a cloud native or become a microservices? Is it enough?
No, sir.
Okay. What you need? One more thing we need here.
Interoperability between these services.
Exactly. So what is mean by interoperability? This is the exact I'm asking most of my interviews. People who certified AWS professional, or even 15 or 20 certified, they are really getting blank. What is mean by interoperability?
Sir, like
What you
when
need to make?
communication, yeah, API.
Yes. So when you develop this each application, okay, you also need to make sure this ER file, this application also can serve or take the request as API. So you need to have one API interface here, one API interface here, one API interface here, one API interface here, one API interface here. In legacy application, that is not possible. That was not there. But now, as an application, I want to receive the request. I want to facilitate the request. You come and read me. I will come read you. Simple as that. So when you develop each sub application, right, as a microservices compatibility, then you need to develop the application with one API. Okay. Now I created all this. Then what is missing? Then what is one more thing is missing in a high level?
The stateful and statenet is trustworthy, like the way
No,
we
that and all
communicate.
functionality, Rupesh. I'm not going very deep, but what I'm saying is
Okay.
high level. I want to make sure everyone is comfort. So there is a one more functionality is really missing, which really mandatory here. Okay, I will give you one clue. You can tell me. I am going to my aws.amazon.com, aws.amazon.com. No. Asar, containerization and all, it's a method how you want to be. VM or container
Sir,
or physical machine.
domain.
No,
Sir,
no.
subdomain.
No. See, I'm completely talking about the internal one. Okay, domain and all, how you want to access it from outside after you expose, right? So now,
Load balancer.
no, that is really not one. The
Which
one
is
I'm
user
asking at the
interface?
Making it
application
all
level.
talk to each other. Application talking
User
to each
interface.
other.
Yes. Wait. There is a very good one. Application talk each other. So I'm going to give you one simple example. I'm logging my aws.amazon.com. Those who are having a lot of background noise, please be in mute. So 7NR S2F. So I'm going to give you a very simple example. Still, many people, they are looking for a use case from the internet or from someone, but you have a very much use case in your bucket. Okay, the moment I click EC2, what is happening? I have a lot of services. When I click this, say I click the services, I have a lot of services. But when I click one service, I'm going inside the service. That means what is happening? What is happening?
It is routing to that specific.
Redirection.
Sorry.
It is routing to that specific EC2 whatever API or that backend, and it is taking you to that page or.
Okay. But I'm looking for something else. So when I have a lot of services, that means each service or this is one application, this is one application, this is one application, this is so all are individual applications. Now
Service interface.
Okay.
They're talking to.
Wait. There is okay. Who said service interface?
Sir, Rupesh here.
Okay, service interface. So what is the use of service interface here? What is the use of service interface here? What is my actual advantage when we need when we say service interface? What is the exact need here?
Because this will give us all the dashboard, the requirement of that services.
No, wait. There is a one word. So
one.
Can you repeat your word? You have repeat. You have said the answer now.
Whatever service, that dashboard, parameters are there.
No, wait. There is an answer. Can you repeat that? you said the answer now.
Dashboard or user interface.
Dashboard. So
user interface.
when you say breaking down the application, right? How you will access it first? Just forget about the user end. At least I need some manager here to coordinate everyone, right? Coordinate everyone, right? So how you will organize this first? So you need some dashboard, right? What is this? When I go here, what is this? What is this?
User interface.
Dashboard.
It's a dashboard, right?
Yes, sir.
So you already splitted the individual one. That is not a problem. But what I'm saying is you need to have some dashboard, right? Without dashboard, how you will contact this EC2 service which you created as a single application with API. How you will call Lambda single application with API feature. How you will call service catalog, which is a single application which API enabled. How you will call Ayatna, which is a single application which is API. So now, can anyone tell me what is the purpose of this dashboard? Hope you are understanding now.
Manage the task.
No. To handle your sub application, to handle your microservices. Each microservices, you can say it's a sub application. Correct? Previously, this is what we used to call jar. Are you able to correlate what we can? So there is a lot of sub. If you take one var file, there will be a lot of jar file. Each jar file have some functionality, right? So now this is one functionality, this is one functionality, this is one functionality, this is one functionality, this is one functionality. But how you will manage? Forget about the load balancer, forget about the all other later. But you need some dashboard to coordinate here. Are you clear till now?
Yes, Vijay.
Yes.
Okay, now the another part, people are really going for a Kubernetes or all, even the certified one. I'm asking very simple, not only now, past few years, people are really blank. Okay, I'm going to put that scenario. It's not about architecture, what I'm explaining. It's a very basic, whatever we are discussing. So when we say sub application 1, sub application 2, and sub application 3, and sub application 4. And for this, I have a dashboard also. So dashboard 1. Okay. Now, this is, say, for example, personal banking. This is, for example, credit card. This is, for example, loans. This is, for example, insurance. Now, there is a huge demand in credit card. They are putting some offer. So credit card is going to have more load rather than the personal banking and other services. So this is, I'm sure when I say that offer, it is going to have more volume of load. So now, how do you manage this? How you handle the situation? I clearly said the credit card is going to take more load.
Pick up that specific credit card, whatever services, and then try to add whatever is required and reload it into the system.
Okay.
I'm just talking from a maintenance perspective.
Okay. Any other thing? So what I will do? Credit card, I said, is having more volume, is going to take. So now, what you will
alternate?
So
sorry.
So can we take this and can we put here one more load balancer with attached to auto scaling group? I'm not talking about the container now. I'm talking about the normal VM. So can we attach it with some auto scaling group? So this will be mapped with this dashboard application, small application. So the dashboard application will have one URI where that URI will know multiple server in the backend. So here also you can put one application load balancer. Here also you can put one more application load balancer. Here also you can put application load balancer. So which attach it to auto scaling enabled. Even you can enable and configure target group also in the backend. So now this is the dashboard. There is a load balancer if you want. There is a load balancer if you want. Okay, in the backend, still you can expand as per your need with all configured. So now see how much flexibility you are keep on expanding. You no need to disturb this. You can only disturb this. Even you can deploy a newer version only here, not here, not here, not here. Okay, now the same you can even attach it to one front-end load balancer with the DNS. Even you can attach it to in front of the load balancer. You can even map it to what? Because this application going to access it from across the world. So now, what is one more thing you can attach it? Have you heard about the traffic manager? In AWS, there is a traffic manager. So you can even go with the more protection. I explained in one of the session, right? So slowly you can expand. Monica, everybody, are you now getting the clear idea? So that is the major point. What I'm saying is, until unless you know how to create an instance, until unless you know how to create a load balancer, until unless you know how to create the application load balancer and target group and each and every services, even if you learn, you need to map all this with one use case. That is more than enough to clear your interview. Okay, now this is I'm talking about the VM based. Now, if you want to apply the same in container based, what you need? If you want to apply in a container based, then what you need?
Whatever is the requirement, package requirement, we will create the image and we will put it into a container.
First thing is each and every image. First, you need to convert as a Docker image, correct?
Yes.
Docker image, you need to create it and you need to test it. You need to store it, correct? Correct or not?
Yes. Yes.
So now, how you will deploy? Go on mute. So how you will deploy? So when I say Docker, how you will deploy this? So application 1 image is created and stored. Application 2 image created, stored. Application 3 image created, stored. Even dashboard also one more application created and stored. So now everything is stored in Docker repository, Docker registry. So now
when
how
required, we can pull the image and we can access that one.
okay, then I'm talking about the Kubernetes. So if I want to deploy on top of Kubernetes, then how you will achieve this? If I want to deploy as a Kubernetes, then how you will deploy this?
Create a pod of these services.
Yeah, Advali, go ahead. Advali, I given
Hello.
access.
Okay. Yeah, it depends on the requirement, but since we have the image, we create a sort of deployment based on our requirement. They will be in a pod. It can be a pod in a deployment
So
services.
say for example, our requirement is a very simple.
Okay.
I have a dashboard. This is
Okay.
the all application dashboard can access. So the front request will come here, correct?
Okay.
So the once the request comes, automatically it need this, it need this, it need this, correct?
Yes.
So this say for example, this application container is running some port. this application container is running some port. This application container is running some port.
Okay.
This dashboard also should run on some port, right?
Yes, yes.
So how you will manage this in a Kubernetes environment?
Okay, so if we'll create it as a deployment, each it as an object, then we'll use a load balancer.
Okay,
Then
so wait,
yeah.
we'll go one by one. So you will create as a deployment stack, correct?
Yes.
In Kubernetes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, in the deployment stack. Okay, so in the deployment stack, first you will define as a load balancer. That means you will expose as a load balancer.
Yes.
Not node port, correct?
Yes. Then okay.
Yes. So
Okay.
in this deployment, so you will create one part. In that part, the first one will be the dashboard. That is the application 4, correct?
Yes. Yes.
The another part is the A1, A2, A3, correct?
Yes.
So then you need to define how much part. That means how much replica set you need. So you are saying 30 replica set, correct?
Yes.
So that means when the traffic receives, forget about the ingress now, we will just say load balancer we have. So I'm just hitting the load balancer. The load balancer will have 30 replica like this. So each part will have 4 instance inside, correct? Container inside, correct? So the Kube proxy will send to here or send to here or send to here or send to here, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So now the load balancer is, now we have a IP address. So now when we say we need to map it to the domain name, then we need a ingress. Correct?
Yes, ingress service. Yes, ingress service that will do all the necessary work behind the scene.
Via the domain name, correct?
Yes.
So the even ingress also, suppose this domain name is icicibank.com, which is a production. Also, we need a same domain name for a different application, say personal banking.
Yes, yes.
Again, further customization also we can do it, correct?
Yes.
So how many of you don't understand? If you don't understand, I mean, that means you are not having any single visibility on how to deploy, how to use deployment in Kubernetes as a system administrator. Okay, so I'm just going to here. I'm going to open up.
Vijay, I have one doubt.
Yeah, go ahead.
After we connect the domain to the ingress itself, then we have to expose the node port, right?
No. Either node port is only for your learning.
For a node port, if you are in your own environment, we will create a local environment.
Yes.
So that you make use of load ports. So, but if you are using a load balancer, it means maybe you are using a cloud service like AWS that will be able to expose your service to the internet. So for ingress will be more if you have multiple load balancer in your environment. So ingress will be able to manage the service at the same time, so that the request, it will be able to send the request to the needed service that your user is trying to access at that particular time. So it will be more less like an object in your Kubernetes environment.
Yes. If you see here, node port is just for learning purpose. If you go to a production, this is kind of a minimum 2-3 application or multiple load balancer inside. So how you will manage? So load balancer, you can use it only if you have a dedicated static IP. That is why in our local machines, we cannot use load balancer. So that is why I always advising people to go directly AWS Cloud or Azure Cloud or Google Cloud to use the load balancer, because the load balancer something just change instead of node port, you change the load balancer. Rest everything can work, but only thing is the load balancer should work only if you have a dedicated static IP or you have a facility to provide static IP. So if I go to load balancer, the same file, but I have changed the type here, right? So in the load balancer, what I'm doing, I'm creating one part. Okay, what is that part? Nginx. So just go back to this diagram. So right now we are talking about one part, not just one container. I'm having one, 2, 3, 4. So, but in this only one. because I just want to expose it. When we say, I'm just going here, I'm going to open up the deployment part. Where is the deployment? Yes. So when I say deployments, look at the YAML file. Look at the YAML file. So here, if you see, there is a one container web server. You can even add another container, even you can add another container, even you can add another container. That means, as per this diagram, 4 container. You can simply say 4 containers, but with the different port. Of course, it will be a different ports, right? But come down, see here, again, I am exposing as a node port because it's a node port. So you need to change this as a load balancer. Right, node port is just for your testing purpose, Monica. Simple as that. Okay, but production, definitely it's not going to be the node port. Okay, now these are all will access your direct application as a static IP, but we cannot go with the IP based. We have to go with the domain name. Then go to ingress, come down, you open any YAML file. So I'm just opening first ingress. And also there is a JPEG image. I will open that image so that I can open that image in the another one. See here. So when this is you. When I access my icsabank.com, it will come to my ingress, and I defined this domain name should go to the specific parts. This domain name go to specific parts. That itself will give you, even you may have a multiple load balancer, right? So still it's possible. That is why people are really ingress is really important. But what I'm saying is you need to define where I need to go. So when you deploy your actual parts as a deployment, the service name is more important. If you go anything, see here, the service name, it should be very much important. So when I say hello Kubernetes, go here. So hello Kubernetes first. So you need to mention your service name. When we expose your service, then you need to expose with that name. So what will happen is, as per this diagram, when I map the service name with this domain name, see here, this is my ingress, right? In the ingress, this domain name I'm mapping with the service name, right? So this is how the mapping, you can expand it. Okay, let's get back to the discussion. So I explained VM how you need to be. I explained Kubernetes how you need to be. Even instead of one part, you can even break down this multiple parts also. But I would strongly recommend, if you go to Kubernetes environment, first try to group one single application related, group it. Another single application related, group it. That means your transaction will be more faster. If those who really don't understand, that means at least one time you spend all this example, then whatever I explained, it will be really clear to you. Okay, let's get back to the this one. Okay, now what are all other one we need to think about it as part of this migration? What are all other parameters you need to think for it? As part of this migration, what all we need to think as part of the planning? What all other one you need to think for it? Any other input? What are all other parameters you will think for it?
Say which servers to have Azure, AWS, and Google, so that differentiation.
Yeah, so you need to first group what are the application. First of all, you already classified this application running on server 1, server 2, and the application dependency. Application 1 dependency is running server this much servers. So you need to first decide, if I move this application, then application related all the servers, I'm going to move it to Azure or AWS or new data center, new latest hardware data center. So now the server hosting provider, that is important. Okay, now what are the other parameters you will think about it?
Vijay, in server hosting, when we have a similar application in other provider also, how to choose like which one for the particular?
Mostly, I would prefer if it is a Microsoft related, then better you think about the Azure, because most of the native, then it will be more cost effective. Say some of the application is AD, right, Raj? So in that case, then those application you group it, better you deploy it in the Azure, because they already have their native service, right?
Okay.
So if you move that to other provider, then you again you need to calculate your efforts on configuring such. It's possible, still is possible, but the effort wise, it is going to take a lot of time planning and the relevant scripts. Correct?
Yes, Vijay. Okay.
So what are all other parameters? So even can you see this? There is a one line they mentioned both back office and customer facing apps. So which means they already have some application. That application also have some functionality. You check with them. Is it any data correspondence or anything? So if you have such clarity from the application developers, then you also need to plan, as I said, if it is a data, then the Amazon AWS also, I don't know how many of you accessed. Have you ever, anyone searched this? Like a Power BI, AWS also is having, but it is not, it's a good service, but I would prefer rather than QuickSight, if you ask me, Power BI is more powerful. But QuickSight is something different. Okay, so you need to compare all this before you take the decision. The respective application, you may have a lot of application, but before you choose the provider, Raj, you need to have all this calculation. First, the mapping sheet has to be created, Raj. Which application have to move? For that, only I'm asking all these questions. You are getting Raj? Raj. So they mentioned there is a back office and customer facing apps. So like that, you may have a lot of application, right? Each an application, when you want to decide the provider, you need to have all this clarity. What kind of application? Okay, we are deciding all monolithic infrastructure, functional requirements, non-functional requirements, that are all fine. But this parameter is more important. When you say the application, what kind of application? Okay, are you need do you need any reporting, data analytics reporting? If it is going to be not, if your answer is not, then you can ignore this part. If your answer is yes, then you need to explore. Okay, what is the cost effective tools? In Azure, there is a Power BI. In AWS, there is a QuickSight. Or you are not interested in both, then go for some third party, Tableau or Click. Then what is the priority? Either you have to set up, or you are going with the SaaS.
Vijay,
Yeah.
how about this EMR? EMR also used for data analytics?
No. Okay, there is a difference. EMR is data. Okay, you have a data. Okay, EMR will help you to curate the data, or AWS Glue will curate the data. Let me just explain. You have a data in Madhavi. Say, for example, simple CSV file. Okay, some employee name and their phone number, their mail ID, their employee number, their address, maybe their designation, maybe their qualification. This is a simple CSV file. Maybe you have a 2 lakh people detail, correct? So
yeah,
some of the people randomly, these details will not be there, some persons like that. So you need to validate, and you need to say it's empty. The CSV file information is empty. So say, for example, Vijay, this detail is not there, this detail. So you need to put, say, null. Then only the graph will have a accurate data. Otherwise, it will be mislead, right? So I need to read this CSV file. Whatever blank, I need to put a null, or I need to remove that and I need to report it. Something, whatever your expectation. So to do that, I need to process it. I need to validate it. You understand? The data analytics, data validation, either EMR. EMR is your people has to be there. Your people has to configure the EMR environment. Your people has to configure, install, set up everything. You understand this? If
yes,
you say you don't have expertise, you don't have any people, you don't know this all Hadoop, all headaches, then there is a service, but it's a very expensive, because it's a software as a service, correct? You use it, everything
yes,
they will take care, correct? Either this or this. What is the difference? If you say I have 100 or 1000 requests, you can go with a glue. But there is a huge request. Per hour, I will get a 10,000 request. Then I would strongly recommend, take some employees, train them on this all technology setup. Then take some servers, EC2 servers. Okay, per hour you pay for it, and you deploy it. You pay per hour. So, but you process 10,000 or 20,000 requests, it doesn't matter, right? So this you need to take a call. But after you validated, you have some good CSV file, Madhavi.
okay,
So now, how do I view this file? I need to view as a graph, right?
yeah, yes, yes,
I need to view some graph, right? So how do I view? So if I go here, click sample graph, I'll just show you. Maybe that time also okay, sample graph visualization. Yes. See, you need to view like this, right?
yes,
Yeah. So this, how do you? There is some products, right? So that is called data virtualization. So data virtualization, if you take data virtualization, for my spelling. My Google will correct it. See, if you click this, this is where all this comes from.
Okay.
Denado. So there are a lot of tools, but I'm just saying. So the click, those are all, but even click also having data catalog, everything. But you need to final output should be somewhat readable graph, right? Otherwise, nobody can understand what exactly you are doing, correct?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So that you need to either choose it click or Tableau or Power BI or even Spotfire. So there are a lot of products, but what I'm saying is, as per this, you need to decide what kind of application, you need to decide what you need to do as part of this application, you need to decide what end result you need to you need. These are all a key factor while designing or while migrating or while doing some planning estimation. If you understand all this, only you can say, okay, I need 100 people, I need for 2 years. So if I have 100 people, I have all this resource, I have all these tools, I have 2 year time, then I can do it this migration. This is how the effort should be.
Okay, Vijay.
EMR is something when you feed a data, you will analyze it. But the click, Power BI and all, once you analyze, you need to represent in a some good readable way. I'm looking for one chart so that people who are not working. Okay, sample visualizations. It's online, you can do it. Okay, I'll just check it. Probably I can show you some sample visualization dashboard. Yes, dashboard. Even you can do a reporting and all. Get okay, tomorrow I will just show you. I forgot somewhere the URL. You can on the fly you can do it. Maybe see dot there will be a graph where probably I can take the link. I'll explain. Okay, let's get back to the discussion. So as part of this, what all you need further?
Vijay, I have one question.
Still, I'm not seeing any idea or any effort on the readiness one. Can yeah, go ahead.
So you brought BI into the picture.
Yeah.
When exactly we need that?
You are migrating everything, right?
Yeah.
While migrating, they mention some application, right? They mentioned
Yes.
some application, right? So what kind of application? That also you need to understand, right?
Yep.
So these days, most of the application, when you say you are moving towards microservices and cloud native, then definitely they are also has to be most of the time compatible with some kind of a graph based reporting, correct?
Okay.
Okay, when we the previously what we'll do, we will create a CSV file and send it to our managers, right? No, those periods are all gone. Now everything is a graph. You see the graph, you know what is happening. That's it.
Okay.
So to create the graph, you need data analytics. That data analytics, you need a lot of products, data catalog, data virtualization. So you need to first define what exactly you need. So to analyze the data, you need, if you say I'm moving to AWS, then you need a EMR. If more request, EMR. If it is a very less request, periodic basis, then go for a glue. Or very few, but I want to stick with something Lambda, then you need to create your own Python code or whatever to achieve this all task. But the data set should be not 2 million requests or anything. It should be very less data set. Because the Lambda is having some limitation. We have discussed, right? Less than 15 minutes.
Yes.
So that is where I started explaining this. Okay, now what all you will need as part of this anymore?
Yeah, as you told, application readiness, so we have to check that as well.
Yeah, application readiness. Then the third point, how you will achieve the data migration, because you have a data, huge data.
Then we will think of it. What kind of data, how sensitive it is. Probably we can choose based on that how we interconnect between our data center to the AWS. Is it a direct connect? If we have, then fine. If not, if it is a huge data, probably we will use the Snowmobile or Snowflake.
Yeah. So if you first decide, because they also mentioned there are a couple of data centers also going to remain. That means the data is sensitive. You agree?
Yes.
So you need to move only metadata, correct? Because the reason why you need to move only metadata, I'll just scrap it out. So when the request comes, where the request will come? The request will come to, say, for example, we'll go with AWS. So request will come route 53, correct?
Yes.
The route 53 will in turn process with your Kubernetes environment EKS, or if you are planning to put it in the VM with the load balancer, it's okay. But it will hit route 53, correct?
Yes.
So in this route 53, whatever the application you have, that application, okay, in turn should have the immediate metadata to access it, correct?
Correct.
So this metadata know where I need to pull it from. The huge data. Where is that? That is the on-prem, correct?
Yes.
On-prem means your own data center.
Correct.
Which is in your office. So now what I'm saying is you cannot put anyway, the data is more sensitive. That is why you don't want to bring that data to the cloud. So you need to think about the services. What are the relevant services for that? So you need to have a dedicated some pipeline and all, right?
Yes, that depends, right? During the migration phase, we will take the decision.
Yes.
Shall we go with VPN, site-to-site VPN, or direct connect?
Yes. So direct connect and the VPN dedicated. So these are all you need to calculate and you need to establish, and based on the volume of data. If the volume of metadata itself is a huge, then how many of you heard about this service? Snowmobile. So if you go here, they will send you a device or they will send you a truck. Still I remember during the ExxonMobil, they sent the truck. to capture all the data and they migrate it to the cloud. But for that, there is a lot of planning has to be there, but I'm saying. So these are all you need to point on. Okay, now what you need to mention your DR capabilities. How do you plan this? What you need to go for it. DR capabilities.
Before going to DR capability, I have one question, Vijay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, what exactly the metadata contains? Usually, whenever we theoretically knows data or data or something, but how big it is and I don't understand exactly the scenario. We will get the metadata, how metadata points to the, how it identifies the backend on-prem database or data storage. So
No. Can you repeat your question?
no. So if the data is sensitive, we don't migrate or we don't move it to the public cloud. We'll keep it in the on-prem. But what we do is instead we will move the metadata.
Yeah.
So metadata is about, let's assume if it is a table, it will contain the data about the table. What are all the column names we have, that stuff, right?
Yes.
So will it be huge? I don't know exactly.
No. What if have a cluster of databases? See, they mentioned you see here they mentioned almost 22,000 servers, which is a huge.
Okay.
So definitely it's not going to be one single database, correct?
Yes.
So it's going to be a cluster of databases, correct?
Yes.
So that means the metadata also will be more metadatas, correct?
Yeah.
So in that case, that also will be somewhat huge.
Okay.
So even you cannot put all metadata in one. Again, you need to create a similar infrastructure there in the AWS, and you can see if it is a less size, yeah, it's happy. Then it's a straightforward. But we need to project ourselves. What if? That is what they are asking.
Yeah. Okay.
They are simply trying to understand how good you are in thinking. That's it.
Yeah, got the point. Just I try to understand. I did not
Yes.
know about much like how big the metadata is. So
No, the metadata is normally small, but what I'm saying is if you have one single application, one set of database, maybe the same database having multiple replica, then it's fine. But what I'm saying is if there is 100, definitely there is going to be minimum 200 to 300 application considering this volume. So each application set, definitely they will have, again, each application you will have a development, you will have a SIT, you will have a UAT, you will have a prod, correct?
Correct.
So again, it is going to be 5 set of
yeah,
data, right?
maybe the database is within the tables, and again,
Yes. Definitely it will be vary, right?
Yeah.
So the metadata also have a various stages you need to plan for it.
Okay.
So that is why I'm saying this also one of the crucial when you plan this.
Yeah, got it, Vijay.
Okay, now what is the actual you start assess as part of the DR? So now one thing is clear, on-prem to AWS or on-prem to Azure. We will stick to that. Now, what kind of a assessment or what kind of a information or what kind of a effort you need as part of this?
Okay,
because this you need to keep remember from on-prem I am moving to AWS. Then you need to think about after movement AWS, what are the DR scenario. After move to Azure, what are the DR scenario.
Okay, so I can correlate with the RTO. Based on the RTO time, we will set it up the DR capabilities.
Yes.
Is it active or active standby or standalone?
Yes, exactly. So even you can go with the the database level. You mean the RDS? We have discussed on one of the internship, right, class. So RDS, you have to decide where you need to keep it, or you need to configure as a slave. Automatically, it will keep get replica. So all those things you need to plan for it. DR. So in Route 53 also we have discussed, right? Like, let me just scratch it out. In Route 53 we have discussed this concept. In Route 53 we enabled the key, first we configured the keep alive, correct?
Yes.
So in the Route 53, while configuring, we configured as a primary pointed to this keep alive. If the keep alive is good, stay with this. If the keep alive is down, then we also configured secondary, correct? Failover.
Yes.
So we selected the functionality called failover, correct?
Yeah, failover or cross region based on
cross region. So these are all you need to configure it. Anyway, I'll show you now. Maybe it will look like blank. I prepared a detailed PPT. I will help you. But before I'm going to the answer, I want to make you to think all this before answer.
Yep.
Okay, now come down. Post migration cloud ops. Don't confuse with this ops, those terminology jargons. So post migration to cloud, what are all you need to adapt it. So we are just moving the application. Okay, after move the application, what exactly you need to start think towards DevOps. Think about right now I have an application, I have moved it to the cloud. This is on-prem. Previously my application was here. Now my application is in cloud, AWS. So now as part of DevOps, what you need to plan this?
Yeah, as we move to the AWS, we will think of all the flexibility or tools we can use to provide the service in a better way, like the integration part or a deployment part.
Yes, so you need to define what is the ticketing, what is the development, what is the build tool, where you will store the code, and what is the deployment server, what is the monitoring, how you need to notify, and what testing you need to do it, and what is the checkpoint. I mean, during the testing, there will be a security, there will be a functional testing. So you need to define all the tools. This is what we have discussed about digital.ai, how to create a workflow, everything. So you first define it, and then for each functionality, you please select the tools. What is the tool? Okay, development, you can go with Eclipse. So source code management, you can go with the Bitbucket. And even you can go with the application binary with the source code, you can go with the Nexus or Artifactory. So what is the deployment mission? You can go with the Tomcat or WebLogic or JBoss. So there are a lot of yeah. So now what is the deployment tool? And even you want to deploy on top of Kubernetes, these are all you need to first decide. So now, is it compatible for AWS? If you take Kubernetes, AWS is having their native. What is that? EKS.
Yeah, EKS.
Okay, and this is how you need to map it. This is the exactly they are expecting from you as part of this DevOps model. Okay, now what they are asking, they given a 24 hours, they are asking you that define a strategy and architecture for DC consolidation. So they are asking a plan. Okay, come down. So they also mentioned, so they mentioned some of the guidelines before you prepare your document. Okay, come down. What is meant by RFP? Anybody? When you grow as a senior, this terminology will be more useful.
Request for proposal.
What exactly we have to do? Request for proposal. What exactly you need to do?
Not exactly. I don't.
Okay. See, the request for proposal, basically you will receive the requirement. You need to analyze and you need to propose what exactly the driving parameter. I mean, the cost wise, governance wise, everything you need to prepare it. Okay. Now I will go for the answer. These are all you will not learn from anything on the training part. Seriously, there is no training. First of all, these especially RFP, those are all until unless you have any senior or until unless you participate a lot of community, they will clearly teach you this. I never seen in my whole career the RFP based some kind of a training. Okay, so now I'm just opened the answer. I will share with you after this. So I spent some time. That is why I these days most of the time I'm preparing all these documents. Okay, so now based on this use case, what they mentioned? They mentioned clearly the 10,000 servers and 12,000 servers, right? So existing, and first you list down, Srikanth, everybody. So first you list down. So existing environment have 22,000 servers. That means workload. You can say servers or you can say workloads. Already migrated 10,000. That is what they mentioned. Already they mentioned migrated 10,000. But I'm just assuming what they said. Plan to migrate 12,000 workloads. The means the jargon is workload means servers. Each server it's about the capacity. Each server it's about the compute. In technical jargon, we can say workloads. So they mentioning 70% of the workloads to be migrated to Azure cloud. Okay, and rest of them are AWS and Google. So I'm split it down. 20% going to be AWS. 10% of the workload Google Cloud. Again, I'm saying don't worry on this percentage. They are not trying to validate the percentage wise. They are trying to validate you how broad you are thinking. Basically, they are trying to understand your thinking level. That's it. So even if you are wrong, don't worry. Just put what you are thinking. Even you think 10 parameters, put it in the document. That is my first advice. So consolidating the data center from 125 to 50 from DC ops. The word again, don't get confused. It's a DC. Okay, and cloud operation to another. Okay, now agenda, target architecture design. Key highlights, migration phases, migration approach. This is how you need to prepare. This is how I expect some of the people who is about to start the architecture review in the community. So this is the exact template. You can take it. See here, I'm just going for a slideshow so that it will be more zoom. I'm just going the third one. Yes. Are you able to see this?
Yes, Vijay.
So now if you go and see this one, let me just pointer. So here DR perspective they are asking. They are asking production environment. Okay, they are also, when we say 22,000 servers, as I said just now, the metadata discussion, you also have some development environment, SIT environment, pre-prod environment, UAT environment before production. Correct, Srikanth?
Yes, Vijay.
So you also need to plan the before production also. Correct?
Yes.
But not exactly with the production, but it's some more, because production is a one environment, but before production there will be a minimum 4 environments to validate and pass and scrutinize everything. Correct?
Yes.
And also you need to go to market, so you need the backend setup. What is backend setup? Your on-prem data center, which is your Chennai office, your or Bangalore office or US office, your office data center. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, after this, I need to expose it to internet with the combination of this, I need to expose this combination to outside world. Correct?
Yep.
So while exposing, I also need one more security layer again. There is a DDoS, correct?
Yes.
Okay, what is the purpose? I'm enabling the DDoS here. What is the purpose?
So to mitigate the DDoS attacks.
Yeah. So can you give me any one example? What DDoS will do?
It will take down the site.
Say for
Suppose,
example, from one IP continuously a request is coming, so you can define, okay, one IP. So if sending the request or more than 4 times or 5 times, you just disable it.
yes, we can
So
block it.
those are all will help you to avoid more crisis.
Yes.
Because the nature of the application is one person is logging and they are doing some process or doing some transaction or doing some query, but that is not every second 100 requests. That is really not possible, correct? From one single IP.
Yes, if it is
So
a real user.
yes, if it is a real user. So if we seen that behavior, then definitely it's not a human, it's a bot.
Correct.
Okay, maybe after this series, once I'm going to start the security, I will help you to create bots. I'm help you. It's a very small, easiest way you can create a bots. So I will help you to do all this DDoS attacks, everything. So now, what is the purpose of CDN? I'm putting here. I'll go one by one. I will go individually. I will explain. What is the purpose of putting a CDN here?
To capture the frequent data there. Let's assume
caching content.
Catching content, but I'm expecting some other word from everyone.
edge location.
Yeah. So that means the users are spread across the location, correct?
Yeah, across the globe.
Yeah, across the globe. In that case, those who are accessing from that globe, it has to speed up. So if you deploy via CDN, so it will be more advantage from the end user point of view. Yeah, Isaac, I have unmuted you. So there is a CDN I put in that purpose. So again, we are saying another some providers, because some of the workloads also we will put it in AWS. Some of the workloads we also put it in Google. And since we are talking about our local data center, then we also need, we explained, we have seen in the hands-on how we can integrate Azure AD Connect, correct? With the
Yes,
same
Vijay.
domain name, correct? And
Yes.
also we can establish the express route via dedicated connectivity. Also, we have seen VNet to VNet, VNet gateway to VNet gateway, point to point, those options. Also, you can pick it up based on what you are trying. And the data box, what is the data box? I will go here. Let me just go portal.azure.com. What is the data box? You can think it of in Azure. Anyone explored the data box? Data box. Okay, let me just go. What is the data box purpose? You can search it in Google and just spend some time.
It is used to migrate data.
Yeah, basically it will help you to migrate the data. So see here, import copy data to Azure and export copy data from Azure. This is really easy, right? Only thing is you need to select the relevant group and which country and which one you want to. So these are all the service dedicated for data migration. Of course, there is a cost involved. So, yes, in AWS, you can go with the CloudFront CDN. Okay, so now I'm going back to the PPT. So now, as I said, we already seen in a couple of internship classes, VNet to VNet, VNet gateway to VNet gateway, site to site VPN, point to point to site. So you can pick it up what exactly you need. In this case, site to site is more appropriate for you because you want to always sync with your site to site, sorry, this site to your environment. Okay, there are a couple of contractors who also want to access it with some dedicated approved key, then point to site also. This also I have explained. Okay, now I'm coming back to this. Let's clear the pointer. Let's enable the pointer again. Okay, now we will come one by one. First, we will go with the production. So in the production, we have to have some firewall. We have to have some firewall, and then I create a web server, app server, DB server, both in a different subnets. Okay, how do you do that? When I go here, virtual networks. When I create a virtual network, I'm going here. I'm just going, say, some resource group. I can say production app 1 something, some next IP address. So here I always do not interested in the this one, the default. Either you can configure here. If you click this, you can say based on subnet. Okay, and say save it and add subnet. What is there in the thing? So I have a web subnet. So you need to be careful. So here we are talking about the production one. So prod web subnet, and I can say add. Oh, okay. So here 10 dot, what is that? 10.0.1.0/24. Okay, and then even we can click this. We can say prod, so that we will not get confused. We will create a more. So I can say prod, say app subnet. We can say 10.0.2.0/24. Add subnet 10 dot, sorry, prod hyphen db subnet, and 10.0.3.0/24. Add. So you define as per this. Then you also need to say, I'm just giving you a security. So do you want the DDoS? Yes, I need a Bastion host, then Bastion name. What is the Bastion subnet address? I can say 4.0/24. Okay, and Bastion name is Azure Bastion host, and you can choose the public address or not. So DDoS also you can enable it. Okay, you need to configure it. Right now there is no. And firewall also you can enable it, but I would prefer you create a firewall. You can associate it here and say tag and review create. So you can create it, but when you create this, let me just show you here. How do you not expose as a public subnets? So when you create this, I'm just created. Let me just go and say create. Once it's created, the virtual network, you can even define, whenever you create a VM, you can define the actual networks where you want to host it. Say, for example, I'm going for virtual machines. Okay, so we have selected create Azure virtual machine. And I can just go with the BB app and say production web server 1, web server 1, and I can go with any image. So password is say 𝐕𝐢𝐣𝐚𝐻. So I'm just going this and going next. So here you can disable the public IP. Also, you can select which subnet you want. This is the production application server. So you can select this, or the DB server, select this or this one. When you say disable public IP, right, automatically it will not have any public IP. That means you are restricting it. So slowly you plan as per this diagram to implement one by one. Okay, and then whatever you deploy here, the application service will be exposed you to outside. Okay, now as per this, again you want to create the same infrastructure. See here, there is another one, and you also need to create the same infrastructure. Now you need to have one more infrastructure, that is the actual your passwords, everything, Azure Key Vault, and all your this is separate subscription login, this is separate login, this is separate login, but this login is going to be the backend complete admin status. This is the actual application project environment. Now you need to have all virtual network, you need to have all passwords stored, you need to have all files, data, everything, and you create a file share, mount it, and you need to have all backup planned here. You need to have all monitoring enabled, all security group, and there is a DR. DR is a minimal one. If you look at the difference here, there is a web subnet, there is a app subnet, there is a DB subnet. Just for a picture representation, we are putting it here. But if it is a more servers, you need to first say you very few servers just to bring the functionality. That's it. But can you anyone tell me why we are creating this separate virtual network? This is separate virtual network. Can anyone tell me your idea? Why?
Yeah.
So why we need two subnets?
So one subnet we are making it
Separate
as
for data.
No.
We are making one subnet as a private so that
See, if you look at this, we are isolating completely private, correct?
Yes.
So that means whenever there is a crisis, even people are try to span both in the DR, because DR also one of the sensitive, right? So they are completely, if you see here, they are completely isolating behind the web application firewall. That means nobody can inside go without passing through this web application firewall. But here also you have a web application Azure firewall. Can you see here from internet when they want to come inside, automatically there will be a by default this will be comes in place. So everybody go inside via after clear this only. So this is how you need to set up and pair and create. Now, once you created, you need to keep migrate. How you will migrate? That is what I told. The data import and import, because the servers are huge numbers here. So you need to start calculate the data size and the VM size, then use these services to go phase by phase. And why we need this part? Why we need this part? Why we need that IPsec VPN site to site?
To transfer the data in between public
No,
cloud.
it's not a transfer data. You are hosting some servers, but those servers also has to be, because the front end user will have only one portal, Srikanth.
Yeah.
So they don't know whether the server is in Azure or AWS or Google Cloud or on-prem, correct?
Yes.
So the end user will not see any difference, but in between there will be a connectivity between all this in a centralized place.
Correct.
That connection has to be encrypted. So you need to have first established this VPN. So even your on-premises data center also, you need to establish the site-to-site VPN. Okay, so those who are not able to understand site-to-site VPN and all, you can just go here. Already explained. Even the internship also I explained. Go to here. There is a 3 you need to first get onto the knowledge with the hands-on. Go here, come down. Azure. Yes. So if you come down, that is why first I always advise people to go with the hands-on part before get onto the actual one. See here, there is a VNet to VNet gateway, VNet to VNet pairing, point to site VPN. So if you do this with the hands-on, it's maximum 30 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. So if you know this, then as per this diagram, when you need site-to-site VPN, when you need VNet to VNet, when you need VNet gateway to VNet gateway. Remember, this also Azure, this is also Azure, this is also Azure, right? Then you need a VNet to VNet pairing. This is Azure, and another third party, complete third party is on also Azure, then VNet gateway to VNet gateway. Right? But from Azure to completely your Chennai office or Bangalore office or US office, then site-to-site VPN. Okay, and I am a contractor. It's a simple work from home. After COVID, we are working from home, right? So I want to first establish the VPN, then I will go for it, right? In that case, point-to-site VPN. So I'm sure everyone in your office laptop, you could have seen this adapter, right? IP config. I'm just going to show you, but I don't have. So hereafter, you see there is a adapter in your laptop, office laptop, point-to-point adapter. Probably I can just show you some adapter here. When you log in, you will see IP address here. Not able to locate. So, but there is a PPP adapter, point-to-point adapter you will have. So once you logged in your VPN, automatically you will see the IP address. So before you connect your office shift, you do ipconfig/all. After logged in your VPN, you do a ipconfig/all. You will see the IP address. After that only you can access your intranet page, your timesheet, everything. The same. And we have spent some time. You need a one domain. You can create some domain. So that domain, you create one Windows domain controller and sync it. The reason is here, whatever domain, the same password should also use it for your application. It should not have a here different application, there different application. No. Now, what are the highlights as for this architecture? So whatever I shown in the diagram, I have explained here. So what all I have mentioned, but so far we discussed. So come down. While migrating the users and group, because you need to have, but what I'm saying is you can use the Azure AD Connect, which is a more preferred way automatically. And also the migrating application, there is a rewrite, you can use it, or modernize, you can use it. First, you need to think about what are all not cloud native. You can simply take the image, move it to lift and shift. Okay. And whatever cloud native application, simply you can create as a Docker image. And here you can create a container environment. That is a straightforward, not much one. Because you are putting all the effort in on-premises itself. In cloud, you are simply accessing the same. You need to first ask all the questions, whatever we discussed with the Excel sheet so far. All this I just listed down here. Disaster recovery also, the reason why I want to put in the separate one is you need to have some recovery. This vault and production vault. Can you go back to the diagram flow? Can you see here? There is a Azure vault, key vault. This vault, maybe I can, this vault and here, see here, this vault have to be synced, because whatever the credentials you have, this credentials and this credentials, maybe you can schedule sometime every 1 hour or every day. It depends how much RPO and RTO you need. Come down. And the migration approach also, you can put, these are all just PPT only, but the actual concept is the diagram. If you can understand the diagram, then go for it. How you can plan it? First, you need to plan this, planning and design. You need to ask a hell lot of questions before you come such a detailed diagram. The diagram means you need to know each and every component, installation, administration, purely system administrator. Then you can go for it. When you say this diagram, now I can also highlight. So can anyone tell me, do you think you need to create everything as a manual?
No.
So those who are still have mindset, why I need to learn Terraform, why I need to learn Ansible, why I need to learn Python. No project will expect you to do this in a manual way. Create a Terraform code and execute it. It will be done. That's it. This is why we are already started infrastructure as a code. IaaC. Come down. Okay, so I will share this after this today internship. Please make use of it. Whenever you prepare some senior level interview, so this is how you need to prepare and project it. Maybe some of you not senior level, it's okay. But you are learning all the services. Most of the services, whatever you are seeing here, you know how to create, you know how to implement. but you need to correlate with the bigger picture. This is why I always assist people to go for reverse engineering. Okay, and go for some forums, and you can get a lot of questions. You ask a lot of questions, or you get a lot of questions. This is how you can explore it. Most of the terminology, whatever I explained, you never get any of the training. Okay, we will have some. Let me just stop.